I even got myself a new friend.
Join me and together we can rule the galaxy.
And I said yes. This is the Nate Flix. Remember the 90s when Nicolas Cage was dominating our screens and our heads with movies like Con Air, The Rock, Face Off, and those action-packed movies, and we were just kind of teenagers at the time, or young adults, depending on how old you are. And it just blew our minds, right? Oh my god, Nick Cage is awesome. Nick Cage is our hero. Or is it this way? I don't know. And he was just like ruling and dominating, right? And then he started getting into weirder projects and movies that we didn't quite understand, but like he kind of making himself more diverse, like Family Man and what's the other one? Brazen Arizona, movies like that, right? Comedies, family comedies. He started making himself more rich, basically. The 90s, where you get rich by blowing things up, and you become president by playing a saxophone. Those were the times, right? And then as we got older, he started doing projects like, he started kind of messing with us with Ghost Rider. And we're like, okay, cool, we could tolerate it because we like Ghost Rider. And then he did Spirit of Vengeance, Ghost Rider 2, and we're like, ooh, Nick, buddy, what is going on, right? And then he kind of like shifted downwards. I don't know. Like, you have your own opinion about Nicolas Cage and his movies like Ghost Rider. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people are kind of in between. As a young teenager, I liked Ghost Rider, and I liked Nicolas Cage a lot as Ghost Rider. But then I hear people my age who are like, no, he was terrible. What are you talking about? Those was terrible. I'm like, oh, I liked it. You like what you liked, and that's why I'm here talking about it. Well, then later on in the 2000s, he started doing National Treasure, which I had a fun time watching, and then he started kind of disappearing, right? He just kind of wasn't doing as much. Until the last 5 years, where all of a sudden, Nicolas Cage was busting out indie film after indie film after indie film. Bam, bam, bam. And you're like, where did this come from, Nick Cage? And it wasn't big blockbuster movies that he was hitting up. No. He wasn't hitting up popcorn movies. He was just throwing out indie films and just working with people and creating his own genre, the Nicolas Cage genre, right? Where he screams and he makes the face expressions and he shouts and he makes it his own, right? The movie I want to talk to you about that I saw is Willy's Wonderland. That's right, Willy's Wonderland. That's the name of it. And oh my gosh, I know, now I get it. Willy's Wonderland sounds kind of like, what would you say?
Sounds like a Lifetime special of Willy Wonka getting canceled in Wonderland.
Dirty. But yeah, like that. Like that. Think Five Nights at Freddy's. But, okay, the best way to explain it, without spoiling it for you, is Nicolas Cage gets stuck in a town, and in order for him to escape this town, he has to clean up this place. He has to stay overnight in this abandoned family fun center, Chuck E. Cheese. It's like if Ozzy Osbourne was to open up a Chuck E. Cheese. That's the best way to describe it, called Willy's Wonderland. And he has to survive the night because the animatronics come to life, like Night at the Museum, but on acid, right? And that's the movie. That's Willy's Wonderland. It's so ridiculous, but in a good way. It's ironically, I mean, it's a good movie, but bad. It's bad, but good. It's I don't know. I think it's on purpose. It's a B movie for sure. So it has a B movie type of action and blood. Oil? I don't even know. They bleed oil. The animatronics bleed oil. Now, for those of you wondering, before you watch this movie, it's not It may be classified as a horror movie, but to me, it wasn't horror. Like, it wasn't a slasher for sure. It was more of a survival movie. It was a survival movie, but it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't scary like Blair Witch Project or something. Like, it wasn't a horror, like supernatural. I mean, supernatural elements are involved, but it was more just surviving the night. It was a surviving the night type of movie. So if you're into those, you'll definitely love Willy's Wonderland, and you could check it out on Hulu. Basically what I'm saying is Nicolas Cage is back. Not in the big blockbusters, but in the smallness of our hearts. The little part right there. And Nicolas Cage should just keep doing what he's doing because it is awesome. Alright, everybody. This was the Nate Flix. You already know about that. I'm Nathaniel. We haven't decided on his name yet. No.
Fart crater.
Anyways, see you next time.